Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming Studios. I'm Craig.
And I'm Connor.
And today we have a very important deep dive for the Grey Knight Codex.
Yes.
We are covering all 8 of the Brotherhoods. We're going to go through some in-depth kind of analysis with them. We'll cover their unique traits, stratagems, psychic powers, and we'll go over some key strategies you might want to employ with these units, as well as some key units you might want to use in general. So
it's going to be a lot.
It'll be a long video.
But come back to it if you need it.
It'll be broken out into segments, so you can pick through which chapters you want to look at a time. If you guys are looking forward to this video, please like and subscribe for more Grey Knight and other 40K content. That really helps out our channel and lets us know that you guys are interested in this and want to see more. With that being said, let's get into the video. So on a little overview again, what we'll say is we will go over each Brotherhood in depth. They each have a unique warlord trait, psychic power, and stratagem. We will go over some playstyles, combos, whether it's specific units that you should look at bringing if you're using this Brotherhood, or just some combos here and there that you might want to include. One thing to note, Grey Knights have a fairly limited codex range, model range.
Fairly is being nice about it for sure.
Compared to, say, the Tyranids, we have a lot more units to choose from. So. Yeah. When we go over specific units, really the Grey Knights, you're going to have to use almost all of them in your army.
At least most.
But almost, yeah, most. Yeah. But there might be a few that just stick out above the rest in these, and we'll cover those.
Yep.
In the end, we will go over the idea behind mixing Brotherhoods, because unlike some other chapters or factions in 9th edition, there are no penalties to mixing detachments.
Which makes sense, because Grey Knights work together a lot.
So we'll go over kind of the pros and cons of doing that and whether you think it's something you'll want to do. And in the end, we'll wrap it up with a nice conclusion.
Cool.
So with that being said, we will go over our first Brotherhood, and that is the Swordbearers.
Yes, they are listed in order, same as the Codex, but coincidentally, this is one of the best ones, in my opinion. We're going to start us off with the Swordbearers' unique warlord trait called Rites of Protection. So it is a psychic action, warp charge 5. Now, just so everybody remembers, if you use a psychic action, you cannot use any other psychic powers that turn.
Correct.
Important to note. Basically, so warp charge 5, you select one friendly Brotherhood vehicle within 12 inches of your warlord. Until the start of your next psychic phase, it now has a 4-up invuln. Awesome.
That's great.
So you can throw it. We'll get to it, but it's great. Want to do the next one?
So Empiric Lodestone is the unique psychic power. It is a Warp Charge 7 Malediction. Yep. Are they calling the maledictions down in the Codex?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So you select one enemy unit within 18 inches, and until the start of your next psychic phase, all friendly Brotherhood vehicles add 1 to the wound roll.
Just crazy.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. By the way, these little stars next to the things listed when I'm talking about the Brotherhood traits is the best aspect of the Brotherhood.
In your opinion,
my opinion, yeah. And then finally, we have the unique stratagem called Marked for Death. It is 2 CP, so kind of pricey. But at the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches that is visible to a Brotherhood unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a Brotherhood unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So the stratagem is the only one of the 3 that does not have to do with vehicles. This applies to
anything
within the Brotherhood
unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go over more of the playstyle stuff here.
Sure.
Now, as you can tell, this Brotherhood is all about vehicles and also heavy shooting.
Yeah.
Basically, purgation squads or purifier squads. The warlord trait is pretty much the best and one of the only ways besides sanctuary to make your non-psyker vehicles tougher.
Can you put sanctuary on like Land Raider?
Yes, I believe you can. Let's do a little check here.
This trait is probably the only one for competitive play of Storm Ravens and Land Raiders.
I was going to mention that. I didn't put flyers on here just because I don't know if...
You don't have any...
Do people use?
I don't know if I mean, Storm Ravens are such a heavy point sink, and they're
I mean, they're all heavy points.
potentially fragile. I know the little gunship ones aren't too bad, but
Yeah, Storm
Talons.
Storm Talon, yeah.
I think, but
yeah, I think you're right about that. And according to the Codex, rules is written, it says 1 friendly Grey Knight's unit.
there you go.
So you can use Sanctuary.
That's cool.
But yeah, if you have already used Sanctuary, you can only use it once per phase. It's a down power. Use this.
Yeah, and
Use
that
it on a Land Raider.
it can target an enemy or target a unit within.
18.
Yeah.
Sanctuary is 18 inches, so
So there are 2 ways, but
Two
this is a
ways.
way to get an extra one.
yeah.
Not bad.
And a note, a very important note, which will come up later in this video and in
Many videos.
And in the next
Grey
video,
Knight Codex in general.
In the Grey Knight Codex, there's a rule called Honored Knights. It applies to Venerable Dreadnoughts, Purifiers, Paladins, Paladin Ancients, and then Crow and Drago. The units I just stated can never gain the benefits of a Brotherhood.
Yes.
So I wish Venerable Dreadnoughts could take from this one because it would make them even better.
That'd be cool. It'd be cool to see them.
Basically, the key units are Deca Dreads, normal Dreads, Land Raiders, Rhinos for the 4-up invone, obviously. I guess Land Raiders would benefit a lot from the +1s.
Land Raiders could benefit a lot.
Yeah.
Crusaders, right? Crusaders have all the Hurricane Bolters?
Yep.
Yeah,
Crusaders.
that'd be good.
And then, I mean, all of them actually would benefit from it.
All of them would, but
Yeah.
the fact that Crusader is only strength 4 on the
True.
Hurricane Bolters, now you're wounding other strength 4 and 3s.
Good point.
Yeah.
You go.
I say same thing with the Dread Knights.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a way if you want to use the Gatling Silencer.
Yeah.
If you have a key unit you want to bring down Gatling Silencers, now they can wound things, whether it's on 3s, 4s, 5s. They'll be wounding Knights on 5s with them.
Yeah.
6s? There's only strength 4.
It's strength 5.
Strength 5. So you're wounding Knights on 4s with
Yeah.
the Gatling Silencers.
And it has 12 shots, I mean.
And the Psycans, you'll be wounding Knights on 3s.
Crazy.
So that's a way to utilize. You'll want to, if you do this, you'll definitely want to focus fire with your Dread Knights.
Absolutely.
You want to pick a key target, and then everything will want to shoot the same thing.
Yeah, this is probably the best Brotherhood for Dread Knight spam, or even just having Dread Knights in your list.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, Purgation Squads and Purifier Squads. Now, Purgation Squads is obvious why. It's a way to get them +1 to hit with their heavy weapons. But as Craig kind of figured out or thought of before we started filming here,
Yeah.
if you make a 10-man squad of Purifiers, you can take 4 heavy weapons in it,
Correct.
and then combat squad it how you want.
However you want.
So essentially, a little workaround to having another Purgation Squad and not using a heavy support slot.
And now your Purgation Squad doesn't know Astral Aim, which, might be bad, might not be, but
The Purifiers, yeah.
the Purifiers will know Purifying Flame. And your Purifying Purgation Squad is
Right.
taking up half of an elite slot.
Yep.
And that way you can still fit 3 Dread Knights
Yeah.
in your list and still have Purgation, essentially.
So that's why we have them on here.
Little workaround.
Those are the main units. We'll get to it at the end, but I think this is a very good Brotherhood.
Very solid start.
Yeah. What do we got next?
So the Blades of Victory. So they've got 3 unique things as usual. Vanguard Aggression is their Warlord trait. After deployment, select a Brotherhood core unit within 9 inches of the Warlord. The Warlord and the select unit can make a normal move of up to 6 inches.
Yeah.
Not bad. Redeploying is always great.
Yeah.
It
I didn't like it as much as I do now at first,
Yeah.
but I think it has,
It has some play.
yeah, it has some uses.
The Psychic Power Inescapable Pursuit is a Blessing of Warp Charge 6. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, reroll charges for a unit. That's awesome. Always
Very
love
useful.
some reroll charges.
Yep.
And Radiant Strike is the stratagem for 1 CP in the charge phase. When a Brotherhood core infantry unit finishes a charge move, select 1 enemy unit in engagement range, roll 1d6 for each Brotherhood model in that squad. Each dice that equals or exceeds the toughness of the enemy suffers a mortal wound.
It's a wordy one.
That seems okay.
It seems okay.
It might be one of those where it comes in and you've got to guarantee a kill.
Yeah.
I guess on some bulkier things like Blade Guard Veteran, things that you're gonna probably bounce off of,
Yeah.
having that on a big squad of Strike Squad or interceptors or something.
I wouldn't say it's a, it's not going to make me want to take Blades of Victory for the stratagem, but if you are running Blades of Victory, sure, you'll have times where you can use it.
It could guarantee you a couple mortal wounds.
Yeah.
The only reason,
We'll
so, I mean, we're talking about tactics here. The Warlord trait can be used, any of the listed units, to get a little bit of board control. The unit that comes to my head specifically are Terminators.
Yes.
Paladins cannot benefit from this, right?
No.
Okay.
Paladins can never benefit from any of this.
Yep, gotta clarify. That's so Terminators I could see benefiting if you want to start them on the table. That's a free, it says just 6-inch movement.
Yes.
So even though Terminators can only move 5.
Normal move of 6 inches.
So even though Terminators can only move 5, they can move 6 during this.
You get an extra inch.
Give them an extra inch, get them up the board a little bit quicker. I could see that being used on your big block that you want to bully the center of the table with.
Definitely.
That could be good.
Yeah, the psychic power is great.
Yeah.
Get stuff into charges better. It's one of the only ways.
Reroll charges.
Yeah, it's one of the, I mean, there's a couple ways to get better charges, but this is probably the best one.
Easiest one.
I think. Easiest one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And the stratagem, it is situational. Mm-hmm. It's better against things with low toughness, but if you're getting into close combat with things that have low toughness, you might not need it.
Yeah.
So
I could say if you gotta clean out a horde, or if you've got something with a high invuln save that you want to be able to punch.
High invuln save as well, for sure.
Definitely. So the key units, paladins. Can they benefit from the re-rolled charge though?
No.
They can't benefit from that either.
No, I shouldn't have put that. We'll remove paladins. You guys won't see it say paladins. But.
So strike squad, Terminators. I think a big block of Terminators would benefit pretty well in here. Otherwise, your Interceptor strike squad, nothing else too game-changing that stands out. But I think this is a way to give some Terminators some speed.
Yeah, it's an okay one.
It's an okay.
It's one of the solid ones.
Okay.
Now we have Wardmakers. Even if you don't want to take this one, it is an important one because 2 of our 4 named characters must be taken in Wardmakers, Voldus and Stern. So the Warlord trait, Lore Master, Voldus must take this Warlord trait if he is your Warlord. Each time a psychic test was taken for this Warlord, if the result is an unmodified roll of an 8 and the test was passed, obviously, the power cannot be denied. There is a relic that does this exact same thing, and I think they're both good.
Yeah.
It seems pretty good to me. It's not always going to come up, but being able to completely shut down a denial of one of your important powers.
It's not quite a 50-50. I think it's like a 42% chance of denying any power. That's not bad.
Or stopping a power from being denied.
Oh, wait.
You're stopping your opponent from having the option to deny.
Oh, I misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's like denying a denial, basically.
So
it's interesting.
Because some armies have ways that it's just on a 4+ they deny a power. That is a nice way to get around that.
Yeah.
If you get like a super smite goes off, that would be cool. Because normally if a super smite goes off, that you want to deny that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So next up we have the unique psychic power, Projection of Purity. It is a malediction, warp charge of 6. Select one enemy unit within 12 inches until the start of your next psychic phase. That unit is not affected by aura abilities of models from its own army. This, once again, is a lot of this is situational stuff.
A lot of it is. That's Grey Knights.
But I mean, against an army that relies on its auras, that could be huge.
Yeah.
Huge deal.
Certain is that unit. So you target the unit.
The unit that's being, so
affected.
You'll be targeting a squad, not a character.
Not a character. Okay, correct. So if you target a character with that, that'd be crazy. But
yes, you're not stopping the auras from being given out, you're stopping...
So, yeah, I can see that being good. If there's one unit you want to not give reroll 1s to hit with or something like that.
You do have to be within 12,
That'll be tough. But it's of the unit, so it's a little bit more potential. Yeah. It's got its place. I could see it having its place. Might be tricky to pull off regularly, but...
Yeah, I think it's the Wardmaker stuff is all situational.
Though if you're in combat and you have like going up against a combat captain, then totally.
That's why I put the little star next to the psychic power on this one. Again, it's the best part of it. And finally, we have the unique stratagem. It is called Masters of the Word for 1 CP. Essentially, in your command phase, pick a Brotherhood Wardmakers character, replace one of his Dominus powers with a different one.
Again, it gives you some flexibility in your psychic phase.
Yeah, just more flexibility.
Not bad. So, play style, anti-psyker abilities. Otherwise, the stratagem's good at denying some auras, but again, it seems like they're just very situational.
Yeah.
You don't really have to tailor your army. Like, you're going to play Wardmakers. The only thing is Voldus and Stern.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just playing Grey Knights.
Use what you want.
Use what you want, and this is just, if you want to use Voldus and Stern, play them this way.
I think that's a good way to phrase it. Yeah, well, you have to play them this way. So
I guess one way we can look at them is if you want to split detachments, this might be a good one to take a split detachment of. Yeah. Just if you want to throw Voldus in there with another unit, and then maybe, I don't know. You'll weigh your odds.
It's not my favorite one, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's okay. Next we have the Prescient Brethren. This one is the guys that see into the future. It's cool. The unique warlord trait is Divination, which I think used to be a psychic power. I don't remember.
Divination? That was a psychic tree. Back in 6th edition, wasn't the divination spells was a whole tree of the generic powers?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's from the past.
You guys remember?
It's from the past in 40K when we were much younger.
I got a 6th edition rulebook over there. I can check later.
We'll check later. But it's called Divination. It is a psychic action with a warp charge of 6, and you gain 1 CP.
I mean, if
warp charge of 6 for 1 CP is kind of a risk.
If you have no other powers to cast,
yeah, that's true.
Then
that's true.
Maybe free CP or just don't cast a power. I would take the free CP.
Totally.
So
good point.
Something.
Yeah. And what's that psychic power?
Fatal Precognition, Malediction, warp charge 5. Select an enemy unit within 12 inches until the start of your next psychic phase. Each time that unit moves, advances, falls back, or charges, roll a d6. On a 4 to 5, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, they suffer a flat 3 mortal wounds.
Initially, I thought this was garbage, but as we discussed a little bit earlier off camera, it definitely has uses, specifically against close combat things or things you know are going to move up the board no matter what.
Yeah, your opponent's durable mid-board taker. So a unit of Blade Guard veterans, a unit of Terminators, a big monster even. That's going to be really annoying to somebody.
Yeah, it's basically a 50-50 chance that every time it moves, falls back, advances, or charges, it's going to take D3 mortal wounds.
It's a good thing it's 12 inches, otherwise this get really nasty. I'm thinking of Swarmy or something.
Yeah.
So you move in your movement phase and advance. So that's 2 times it could happen.
But then you also...
And then if you use Swarmy's things, he moves and advances again. That's another 2 times.
So that's a potential 9.
You charge...
Potential 12
3, 6, 9, 12, 15 mortal wounds right there. True. Potentially.
But it's a 12-inch range, so...
So it won't come up a lot, but it could be something good to put on a few units.
Yeah.
A few of those durable ones.
Once again, it's like if you... Let's say you already threw out a couple smites, so the warp charge value's higher than it normally would be. If this is the Brotherhood you're running, it's probably worth it. Yeah. Probably worth it to try. It's only warp charge 5. So
the unique stratagem is Foresight for 1 CP. Shooting or assault phase. When a Brotherhood Psyker shoots or fights, reroll 1s to hit and to wound.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically it gives you the abilities of the Grandmaster and the Brother Captain on 1 unit. So if you don't have any characters around, you have something by itself over on the side.
That's true.
For 1 command point, you give them...
And it works on anything.
It rolls on any Brotherhood thing.
So you could put it on a Dread Knight?
Yep.
Yeah.
It totally has uses. I think it's the best part of the Prescient.
That is very good. Absolutely. So some play styles. The Warlord trait is good. I mean,
1 CP is always
1
good.
CP is 1 CP. Grey Knights They are semi-CP hungry, would you say?
I would say so.
So-
Especially keeping Terminators and Paladins alive.
Right, you're
It's
gonna
going to
need.
suck up your CP.
Yeah, so it's extra CP is nothing. I mean, because that doubles your potential CP gain from 5 to 10.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yep.
And 6 is about as safe as your powers go.
We have a couple
So-
Warp Charge 5s, but
you do? Okay.
you can't complain about 6, yeah.
It can be helpful against powerful melee threats. So this is that the psychic power, right? Yeah, psychic power. One thing I thought of is you could play KG with this and use interceptors and the stratagem mental focus. So mental focus allows any Brotherhood unit to cast an additional power.
Actually, I think it's just Grey Knight unit. Psychic.
Ooh, okay, so maybe some other
Even
things.
better.
And what you can do is you can take your interceptors and they got 12-inch move, or they can shunt, right?
Yeah.
So you could shunt all the way up
All the way across the board.
the board, and then you could target that key durable unit, and then you can use their psychic power to shoot and then jump again. So they can shoot something, and they can jump back 12 inches and hopefully stay out of threat. Ideally, if you line it up right, then you're 24 inches away from any combat. With a 12-inch movement, you could probably even get behind obscuring terrain too.
Yeah.
Or in cover at the very least, which will help a lot.
It's a little cheeky way to play
I
it,
think
for sure.
if you are using these Brethren, like we have down here, interceptors, you're gonna need to use that as best as possible. Otherwise, with the 12-inch movement, or 12-inch range on that power, it's not gonna happen a whole lot, I say.
Yeah. And the stratagem is pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't use it when you don't need to, obviously, but there will almost always be situations, I think, where there are not characters there to buff your guys up.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll always come to some case where you just need a little extra. Let's see. I believe a rerolling ones to hit is just like a 16% buff. So rerolling ones to hit and wound is like a
30.
I don't think it's quite 32, but we could say it's about 32% damage output increase, which is nice.
Yeah. Key units, a warlord.
You just need a warlord. It has to be a
have.
generic one, so you can actually put the warlord trait on them.
So you can use the extra CP, like Craig said, interceptors to do the little
Jump, cast,
cast the power, shoot, jump back. And then
Otherwise, it's pretty good. Use whatever you want. This might be one to take a separate detachment of.
yeah, just to
have a unit that can do that. And maybe if you want one extra HQ, this would, because then you would need a strike squad and, there's something.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I could see potentially throwing in a unit that can do this potential.
Yeah.
Just to really mess with some key units.
How effective will it be? I don't know. But
I don't know.
We'll find out
I'd
in the
like
future.
to see it work.
Next up, we have the Preserver. Oh, it's just Preservers, not the... Preservers. Their unique warlord trait is called Radiant Exemplar. It adds 3 inches to all of the warlord's aura abilities to a max of 12 inches. How do you feel about that? Is that useful? I don't know how useful that is.
I can see it being good on a standard Grandmaster or Brother Captain, right? He's the Lieutenant, Brother Captain. I could see that being good on them. Auras could also be good on a Apothecary.
Oh.
Because now, right, they give off a 6-inch bubble of...
Yes, they do.
I believe it is an aura, technically, because it is a bubble.
I think you're right. It is an aura.
So that would be good to put on your Apothecary, because you can give them a warlord trait, right?
You can give apothecaries all kinds of stuff, because they're characters.
So I would definitely probably go for the Apothecary first, otherwise a Brother Captain or a Brother Grandmaster.
You know that works out, because the unique psychic power,
Yes.
Aegis Eternal, which is my personal favorite part of this Brotherhood, is a blessing with a warp charge of 6. It grants a 6-up feel no pain to itself. Sorry about that. I had to pause for a second.
It grants the unit its own 6-up feel no pain.
Yeah, you cast it on yourself. It gives you 6-up feel no pain. But if you are within that unit that cast it, if it's within 3 inches of a Grey Knight's Apothecary, it then becomes a 5+ feel no pain.
So now you can put that on a big Terminator unit.
That's the main thing, I think, is
and then
a big Terminator
you can have
unit.
that Apothecary right behind it. But if that Apothecary has a 9-inch bubble, he can also touch a ton. If he's in the middle of the table, he's got a big radius then, 18-inch radius of 6-up Feel No Pain. And it only has to be, right? They didn't do anything weird with your apothecary. It just has to be one model in the unit. It's not wholly within, right?
Correct.
So just one model of that unit has to be within the 18-inch radius for your army to get 6-up Feel No Pain.
Wow, that makes Preservers even better than I thought, actually.
I think they got some Terminator play there.
Yeah. And then finally, we have their unique stratagem. It is only 1 CP, which I think is a good deal for this. It is a before the battle one. It's called Charge of the Ancients. Before the battle, select 1 Brotherhood Dreadnought. Once again, it cannot be venerable.
Not venerable. That's annoying, but I get it.
It's very annoying. Before the battle, select 1 Brotherhood Dreadnought. It gains, its movement becomes 8 inches. It can reroll all charge rolls, which is really good.
Not bad.
And after successfully charging, add 1 to the damage of its melee weapons. So they go from damage 3 to damage 4.
So if you've got a Dreadnought that you really want to use, again, this might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
For once, so what is the standard Dreadnought? What does he got?
Our standard Dreadnoughts, I passed
They're elites, aren't they?
They are elites. So standard Dreadnoughts come with an Assault Cannon, Stormbolter, and Close Combat Weapon.
Can you give them any other fancy close combat weapon or no? Just a close combat weapon?
They do not have any.
Can you give them Multi-Melta? Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking a Dreadnought with the close combat weapon, a Multi-Melta, is, if you're using this, I would make that an auto include, because Multi-Melta is Multi-Melta.
Totally.
Does this make him a character by chance?
It does not make him a character.
Dang.
Let me double check that, but I'm pretty confident.
Because if it did, then that would be great, because then he couldn't be targeted. Yeah, then he wouldn't be targetable.
That would be
the Iron Hands have the stratagem that lets you make one of their Dreadnoughts a character. So then they are not targetable that way.
That's really cool. This is the Preservers. It's right here. So no, he does not become a character.
Dang. But he gets an 8-inch movement, so he's 2
inches faster.
Can you gate him?
You can gate, absolutely.
Ooh.
You can gate anything, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. We should get you a Dreadnought.
What?
We should get you a venerable or a non-venerable Dreadnought.
I absolutely need at least 1 Dreadnought for sure.
I think we're in the playstyle now. So we've talked about, we're into the playstyle of the Preservers here. We talked about the Warlord trait on an Apothecary is great. Other than that, it's, I don't know if it'll be that great of a use. No. This is a great way to bring Terminators and make them, I mean, even your Strike Squad having 6-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
Sam using his Iron Hands all the time. 6-up Feel No Pains can come in clutch at the most annoying times.
Yeah.
So having that on a 2-wound model alone is great.
But also, you can make it a 5+ with the Psychic Power. I mean,
yes.
It's
it's true because everyone can cast it.
Yep. Everyone can cast it.
You do have to be within 3 inches of that Apothecary, though.
Yeah, but if you're smart with your positioning of your Apothecary.
Possible. Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, Terminators definitely. Stratagem. Yeah, like we said, I think this is a way to make that Dreadnought pretty good. Now, he's not venerable, which is annoying.
Yeah. So he's hitting
on 3s.
On 3s always.
But Multi-Meltas are 2 shots. So, and if you're by a character, he can still, he's core.
Yep.
And he's reducing damage. And he can get 6-up Feel No Pain.
That's true.
So, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see this be done.
Yeah.
We'll get you a Dreadnought so you can run this. I think it's not bad.
It's not bad. I do wish, just a little side note, I do wish you could do it to maybe 2 Dreadnought. I mean, I don't
pay an extra CP for another one.
I don't think that would be overpowered at all.
No.
Because it's not that crazy, but it just makes a regular Dreadnought a little better. But it is it's very specifically once per battle, once per game.
Yes, you use it once.
So I actually really like the Preservers now that we've kind of gone over this.
I think if you want
one of the better ones.
Terminators and a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And whatever else you want.
Apothecary.
Apothecary and some Dreadknights, of course. But
yeah, always Dreadknights.
Yeah. But I like this one. This is Swordbearers are good, but I think this is my favorite one just because I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, me too. Next we have pretty much the second, one of the, I don't know where exactly I'd put them all. This is in the top 2 in my opinion. The Rapiers. These are like in an entire army of close combat, these are the close combat specialists.
Okay, got it.
It's cool. Unique Warlord trait is Inescapable Wrath. Your Warlord can charge the same turn in advanced.
Wow.
Grandmaster Dread Knight gets an extra couple
D6?
inches, D6 inches before he crashes into your lines.
Kind of has a 3d6 advance or 3d6 charge then, in a way.
Ooh.
Now your weapons are heavy,
about that, yeah.
so you cannot fire your weapons
for vehicles either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could not fire your weapons and do that, which is a trade-off. But
if you really need to get there,
them into combat, yeah.
It can also be useful on non-Dread Knight characters, but most of your guys are in Terminator armor and they move 5-inch.
It's more speed.
It's more speed.
Yeah.
The unique psychic power, Symphonic Strike, one of the absolute best, in my opinion, in the entire book. So it's a blessing, warp charge 6. You cast it on yourself. Until the start of your next psychic phase, add 1 to the attacks of this unit. It speaks for itself.
Now,
very powerful.
I'm gonna ask, because I'm gonna ask this every time, and people will too.
Yeah.
Can you use that on paladins?
No.
Okay.
No, you cannot.
Just to check.
I will answer. I'm happy to answer every time. You cannot use it on paladins.
But still putting it on a strike squad.
Oh yeah.
4 attacks a
Terminator
model.
squad.
Terminators too.
Yeah.
4 attacks a model is
even Dread Knights, I think. I mean, you're only gaining 1 attack from it because it's a single model, but the sword hits are a huge
sword
deal.
Hits are good.
Yeah.
It doesn't, now remember, it doesn't double because it's
Right,
you
it's
multiply then add. Yeah. So, but yeah.
I mean, this is
I guess everyone can use it. So
everyone can use it.
That's
in the
true.
Brotherhood. Finally, we have the unique stratagem called Deadly Efficacy. I don't know what that word means, but I think I said it right.
Efficacy. I know
1
it.
command point. It is in the fight phase, unmodified hit rolls of 6 in melee score an additional hit. Which, as you will find out as we talk about this, the play style, is a great combination.
Go for it.
All right. You looking up what efficacy
Okay,
is?
here you go. Efficacy.
Yeah.
The ability to produce a desired or intended result.
There you go. Makes a lot of
Deadly
sense.
results.
Deadly results.
I like it.
True. All right. The play style of the Rapiers is...
Sorry,
Rapiers.
I thinking of,
Sounds
iCarly, right?
Of course.
You remember the scene where there's the talking lamp?
I don't remember that.
So there's if anyone knows this,
I'm sure
put in the
they do.
comments. So there's a scene, I know this because Taylor had recently rewatched all of it on Netflix.
Sure.
So Spencer gets his lamp, and it's like a talking lamp, like you have to say a word in order to turn it on and off.
Okay.
However, it was made in Japan, so you have to say this Japanese word.
Nice.
And it's like Rampu or something.
Nice. Okay.
So there's a scene for like 30 seconds of them just yelling at this lamp.
Nice.
And that's what I thought of.
Rapiers.
Continue on. My bad.
No, that was good. iCarly was a great show back in the day. So the Warlord trait is pretty good. It is a better, well, I guess I shouldn't say it's a better version. It is better at getting you into combat than the Warlord trait first to the fray, in my opinion. It gives you more potential inches to get to the enemy.
So
it doesn't assist other units in getting into combat with that unit, but it helps your Warlord.
is first to the fray +1 charge?
Yes, and it also gives +1 to other units if your Warlord successfully charged against that one unit.
So you're weighing off +1 to charge or a reroll charge?
Well, no, this Warlord, the Rapiers one is just, you can advance and charge.
Oh, advance in charge. Oh, yeah. So that is better.
Yeah, it's
on
better
average.
for your Warlord. It does not give you the little boost for other units.
units.
But it's okay.
If you want to send a beat stick in,
Yeah, it's okay. The psychic power, like I previously stated.
Sorry, continue.
Okay.
Finish psychic power,
Okay.
then I have a thought.
Yeah, the psychic power is one of the best of all the Brotherhood psychic powers. I mean, Grey Knights are the close combat Space Marines. +1 attack adds a lot of damage potential to anything.
So can you combine first the fray and this one?
Yes.
So you could have
Yes,
+1
you
to
can.
charge and +1 to charge and advance in charge.
Yes.
Now check, because there are some stratagems in 40k where they say it is a hard cap at like +2. Like you can not get more than +2 inches to your charge.
What would I check?
With the
trait or
the Warlord trait probably. Does
Okay.
it say? Because what I'm thinking of specifically, there's a Blood Angels combo where theoretically you could get like +3 to your charge if you combine
I don't think there's a cap on
a
it.
tactic and a Chaplain Litany could get you +3 to charge, but they specifically call out you can only get +2 to your charge.
There is no...
Doesn't
I don't
say
think
anything.
there's anything else in the codex that gives you extra inches to your charge, because this one, the Rapiers Warlord trait, is not helping you actually charge. You're
That's
just
true.
advancing.
So, okay,
And
that's
charging.
fine. So that, I mean, yeah, that really adds some speed.
That's a good thought, though.
Because you can pay
yeah.
2 or 1 command point to put both of those warlord traits. Now he can get advance in charge, and he can help out his buddies.
And +1 inch.
And +1 inch.
Charge. So yeah, that is a great combo.
So
that
it's
I
a
didn't think of.
kind of like a 3d6 +1 inch charge.
Honestly, that sounds pretty good.
Pretty good.
It sounds useful with
very
this
good.
with this Brotherhood. And finally, the stratagem is really good. Unmodified hit, it is hit rolls, I believe, right? Let's just make sure. Unmodified hit rolls of 6 in melee give you an additional hit. Combine that with the psychic power. Who knows how many?
The psychic roll 6+ area causes 4+ causes a mortal wound.
This is a different one.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So you can't stack those two because they're two different.
Correct.
Never mind. Okay.
But I mean, extra attacks and then your attacks to hit rolls of 6 give even more attacks.
Yeah, I can see that going one of two ways. One, just a general like, hey, we'll buff up, you know, extra attacks. Two, you could fish for 6s in a way with falchions, because now you got 4 attacks plus more. I still like the swords and the halberds over falchions in a lot of cases.
I just think damage 2 is a huge deal.
It's big.
We probably should have also included a Brotherhood banner here in the key units. We haven't gotten to them yet, but I would say Brotherhood banner would be a good one because
is that more attacks?
it's even more attacks. So
Yeah.
with halberds, you can still get a lot of attacks with this Brotherhood. And like you said,
you could do like 1 kill squad of falchions, but I do like the halberds still more.
I think halberds and even swords.
Swords are good.
Mostly halberds though.
Swords against other Space Marines are what you're gonna want, because you're still winning on 3s and they're only gonna get 6s. But against any other army but Space Marines,
there is a lot of times where I think strength 6 will be
I agree.
necessary or
I
better.
agree.
Yeah.
So key units, I mean, it's
Brotherhood banner.
the banner and strike squad terminators, just everything.
The
pretty
stuff,
much
the
there.
core
the
stuff.
combat-y core stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say it again. Paladins and purifiers do not get these bonuses.
And venerable dreadnoughts.
And stupid venerable dreadnoughts, yeah.
So unfortunate.
So again, strike squads, mass strike squad rush. Terminators, you can get some speed on Terminators with this.
Oh yeah. All right, we are halfway through.
We're only halfway through? Oh my god, I'm gonna try and cut it down a little bit. I don't know.
You can pick up the pace.
So, Exactors.
Yeah.
The overview is that they got a warlord trait, Oath of Witness. Add 1 to the leadership of friendly Brotherhood core units, and you automatically pass morale.
It's an aura.
I don't like this. You're going to be taking most of the time min squads or an occasional big block, and if you're taking a big block and you're taking a morale check on them, you have other issues.
3 of the basic Grey Knight Warlord traits are really good, so take one of them.
Yeah.
Don't take this.
Unique psychic power, Fires of Covenant. Warp charge 5, which fire select an enemy unit in engagement range, 1d6 for each model in the enemy unit. Every 4+ causes a mortal wound.
So horde control.
Wow, that's good.
Very good against hordes.
That's
Big squads.
very good.
Yep. And
There's no cap to that?
No.
Woo!
So against a squad of 30 anything, you average 15 mortal wounds.
Just die.
15 mortal wounds. And there's a warlord trait where you can... It's the mortal wound bomb where you can select a unit. This becomes, against a squad of 30, you average 30 mortal wounds. It doubles the mortal wound output on a witchfire.
They're going to put... I'm calling it now. The FAQ's coming out and they're going to cap that at like 6 mortal wounds. I can see it.
But it's only good against big squads.
I know, but the potential... They did it to the AdMech. They capped their mortal wound spam at 6.
Yeah, but that's AdMech.
Still.
AdMech are gods among men.
I don't know. I just see the potential to just wipe out a 30-man unit with 1 psychic power.
Yeah, kill half of them.
Is crazy. Cool. We'll see. Unique stratagem, Sanctic Guardians. That sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
Heroic Intervention, part of the charge phase. select one Brotherhood unit that is not in engagement range, and that unit can perform an heroic intervention as if it were a character.
Really good.
That's got some potential.
I think it's very good if you, well here, we'll get to it here on the next slide, but
Play style.
So the Warlord trait is terrible.
Terrible.
The Psychic power is, as Craig said, really good against larger squads or even moderate squads.
Still, yeah.
And the stratagem is awesome. You need to be precise about measuring and knowing what units you want to be fighting together, but having almost anything in your army be able to heroically intervene as if it was a character is really good.
I like it. I think that'll allow you to put a big unit on a center objective,
Yes.
and you gotta come get it.
And you can have other things back them up, or they can back something else up.
I think it's good.
Key units, strike squads, terminators, almost anything.
Again, this is one of the more generic ones,
Because
but
of
you
the
don't have to
stratagem.
tailor too much to it.
Next up, we have Silver Blades. You want to go through?
Sure. So the Warlord trait is Martial Perfection. Warlord always fights first, and the Warlord rerolls hit rolls in melee. That's good.
It is good.
Fight first is very good in this edition. It started out not so great, but now it's becoming pretty key if you can have it.
Totally. This is Castellan Crow's
Oh, this
Warlord
is his
trait.
Warlord trait.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep.
The unique Psychic power, Temporal Accuracy, another Warp Charge 5 Blessing. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, all Stormbolters, Mastercrafted Stormbolters, and Relics that replace Stormbolters have Pistol 4. And that's for every model in the unit.
It is.
So a big 10-man squad, 40 pistol shots.
You might be wondering, what's the point of this? It's so that when you're in close combat, you can essentially just shoot your Stormbolters.
I think that's good. It's got you won't probably use it every time,
No.
but you can use it to clean out a unit, and then maybe you can go charge another unit.
I think it's
that
pretty
turn.
good. It's
Yeah.
only Warp Charge 5, too. So
Yeah.
if you need extra shots, I mean, if you have a bigger, or even a 5-man squad, that is 40 extra.
20.
20. Thank
20
you.
extra shots. Still a lot of shots.
20 extra shots, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, we have the unique stratagem, adaptive, I'm going to do it, excoriation.
Excoriation?
Adaptive
Excoriation?
excoriation.
Okay.
1 CP. It's 1 CP. In your movement phase, when a Brotherhood core unit falls back, it is still eligible to shoot.
It's got some niche plays in there.
Sure. But let's go to the play styles for the Silver Blades now. The Warlord trait is very good,
Especially on the Grandmaster Dread Knight.
especially on a Grandmaster
Like
Dread
most
Knight.
of them.
Yeah, that can be applied to anything, but him always fighting first, and what was the other part? Always reroll. That's actually one of the only
Reroll
ways
hit rolls in
to get
melee.
a Grandmaster reroll hit rolls, because they're not core.
Sure.
They don't affect themselves.
Yeah, and when you're using the sword, that can be very good.
Really good.
The Psychic power also good. Potential. Again, it's not going to come up all the time, but if you're something in combat and you want, let's say you finish up a combat and there's 4 models left.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that would be great. The stratagem is okay. I think it pairs well with interceptors.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you got an objective and you need to get to that objective, but you're locked in combat,
Yeah.
now you can fall back, get on the objective, and you can still shoot. You're not completely useless that turn.
Yeah, and if the unit isn't damaged much, that's a lot of Stormbolter shots that you'd be missing out on. So it's 1 CP for some
Not
more
bad.
Stormbolter shots.
Key units, Grandmaster, Nemesis, Dread Knight.
Always.
The strike squads, big squads take advantage of the stratagem. Terminators, same thing. And interceptors, because they're the ones who can really benefit from that fallback speed.
Indeed. Oh, I was lying. We're not halfway.
Oh, we are done. Wow.
Yes.
That's all 8 of them.
That's all
Goodbye.
8 of them.
Thanks for watching. Bye. No. We're going to go over a little bit of thoughts on mixing Brotherhoods here now that we've gone through all 8 of them.
Yeah. It was, when I got to this part of the PowerPoint, I didn't really know what to say, but I think we just have a couple notes on pros and cons, and there's not really too much else to it.
No, it's...
For the pros of mixing Brotherhoods, this is the only way where you can have multiple Grandmasters and or Brother Captains in a list. You can only take 1 per Brotherhood, but if you took 2 Brotherhoods, you could take 2 of each.
Yep.
I don't know if you should.
If you want to.
I guess maybe Grandmasters I could see wanting a Dread Knight and a normal one.
Yes. The thing to note,
Dread.
this is a con, because we have it as a con, distributing the specific buffs, is that the Grandmaster can only buff units of its same Brotherhood.
Same with Brother Captain,
And the Brother Captain.
Yeah.
But it seems like most psychic powers also follow that same trick. There's a few, it sounded like, that are just Grey Knight in generic form.
Yes, you're right.
There are a few that work cross Brotherhood.
Most of the Brotherhood ones, though, are just your Brotherhood.
Brotherhood specific.
Most, if not all. Yeah.
So that's the con to the multiple Grandmasters, is that you gotta know which units go with which.
Yeah, but then on that same kind of note, we'll go back to the pros side of it. You can use multiple unique Brotherhood psychic powers, again, on your specific Brotherhood units, but I think there's probably a few situations where it could be beneficial to have, let's say, the Swordbearers one for vehicle damage, and then maybe you have a squad of Terminators or Strike Squad where you want to be them Rapiers.
Yeah.
And you have more attacks.
Yeah, I think that it does give you a little bit more option and flexibility.
Yep.
The tax, like the con of doing this, a tax is you're going to have to pay CP.
True.
You're going to have to pay at least 2 CP for a spare patrol, if not 3 if you're doing something funky, but it'll most likely be 2.
And again, you don't want to waste your CP in this army.
And CP is, you definitely don't want to, especially because you have a lot more ways to spend CP before the game starts.
A lot. And another part of the tax is list building, like units. You might not want to have to take another strike squad. Maybe you already have 3 or 4, which you probably should.
Probably, yeah.
But I think this mixing Brotherhoods for Grey Knights is less bad than for other armies.
Oh, absolutely.
It's definitely less bad.
Definitely.
It has probably some more functions, some more overlap, but I don't really feel the need to do it as of right now, as I'm starting to make my first 9th ed lists.
Yeah, when 9th edition first came out, it looked like the path they were going on is that if you mixed Brotherhoods or mixed codexes or whatever, you were going to lose these. You're going to lose these bonuses.
Yeah.
Then AdMech happened and you didn't lose them. And now Grey Knights happened and you're not going to lose them. I don't think you lose them with Orcs either. So
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's not. I mean, it's good news for Tyranids in the future. But
true.
It might be. I think it does come down to personal preference. Do you want to pay the 2 CP to have a few extra options, knowing you're going to have to put a little bit of extra brain power in keeping your unit separated? In a lot of cases, it might not matter. But for me, my Tyranids, I play them as 1 detachment. I know you could argue it's more competitive to play 2, just because they're benefiting from different things.
Yeah.
These ones don't seem like, besides the psychic powers, there's not a reason for them to cross over or anything.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, besides the psychic powers, there basically is not a crossover.
Yeah.
I don't think. So you can do it. I kind of am in the same mind state as Craig as far as that. Keep it simple. I mean, for me at least, I just want 1 Brotherhood right now.
I think, more cases, maybe 75% of the list are going to stick with 1, and then there would be a few that throw in a patrol of something fancy.
Yeah.
So, some conclusions you have on these?
Yes, so I have my final thoughts here. Brotherhoods seem solid. I don't think any of them are overpowered, which is good for the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of them are going to be used because of the psychic power. Obviously, it's Grey Knights. The psychic power should be the most powerful part of it. There are 2 or 3, I'll say, I guess I'll just say right now, Swordbearers, Rapiers, and Preservers. I think I'm adding Preservers to this list as well.
To the list.
Those ones seem really good to me, or pretty solid to me.
Yeah.
All the other ones, a little more so-so, but you should try all of them.
Yeah. I'd say the same thing. I am shocked you got 8 options.
I can't believe it.
If you got, I was thinking like 4,
That's
5
a good thing
options.
to say because I am very happy that we got 8 options.
Tyranids got 6. We do have custom ones, so we can technically have not not infinite number, but a large option.
But I mean, I think Necrons are 6 as well.
With
Forgive
custom.
me if I'm wrong, and custom, but
They're 7. Necrons are 7.
They're 7?
Yep.
I didn't expect Grey Knights to be
8.
custom stuff either.
No, you can't really do custom Grey Knight stuff, but
This is already
that's awesome.
more than enough. So good call. That is a positive.
I
for
like
sure.
the fact that you have that sort of option.
Yeah.
And I will second that. I like I think Preservers are my favorite right now.
They're cool.
Now, I don't know if they're the most competitive. Swordbearers might be, or Rapiers might be the most competitive.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put my money in on Preservers being my favorite right now.
You know what? I'll say for maybe my second or third battle report with the Grey Knights, we'll take Preservers and see what happens with them.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to get a Dreadnought for you then.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, that has been our wrap-up of the Brotherhoods. Hopefully you stuck around for the whole thing, or maybe you watched it in 2 chunks because this is a lengthy boy.
It will be, yeah.
But we'll have it time-stamped out so you can pick through all of them. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I think we have some good dialogue in here.
I think so.
Going through it. And I know you guys like that sort of stuff, so thank you guys for watching. Again, if you want more of this Grey Knight content or other 40K content, stay tuned for the battle reports. Hit the little subscribe button, like the video so we know you enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time.